Another episode of Realities May Vary, the podcast that does whatever it wants, whenever it wants. I'm Brian Noonan, and there he is, brightly colored, well coiffed. Looks like he's wearing a Letterman's jacket to flash back to his high school glory days. It's Cody Gough.
That is me. Thank you for the
It is
introduction.
you.
Now I'll introduce the show. Brian.
Are
Apparently
you all
I-
right? Do you have
yeah,
phlegm? What do you got?
no, I'm good. Uh
Consumption? You got the consumption?
no, I don't know what that means. It is yeah, we got things to do today. Brian, you'll find out.
Yes.
Brian has things on the list. His mom's worried about him. We'll find out about that. Christmas is over, he declares, or at least in his house, and or mine. We'll find out. He was the judge.
No, not a judge. I emceed. I emceed a big thing.
A big thing. The Queen of the St. Patrick's Day Parade event.
Yes.
That's going to be a fun thing to recap. And also, he did a project with his neighbor. Who talks to their neighbor? I don't know. People.
Neighbors.
Yeah. As for me, happy Martin Luther King Day. Reminder, he was a socialist. And we should celebrate that. That is buried by American state propaganda, but he was not just about racial rights. He was a socialist, and in a good way. That is not a slight. But yes, happy Martin Luther King, the Socialist Day to everyone who celebrates him and or socialism. My 5-minute, 30-second check-in is that I am not a socialist, unlike Martin Luther King Jr. Am I? Who knows? Find out. Tune back at 11. I am so done. Like, I almost was like, I can't do today.
You are out of your mind.
I am so burned out, Brian. Like, my daughter got this eye infection last Monday.
Oh, no.
So she's been in and out of daycare. Of course, Friday daycare was just closed.
Sure. Everything was closed.
I don't get snow days. I do get lots of nice benefits from working from home, but snow days is not one of them because I'm home. However, my wife did get a snow day, but being a teacher, that actually gave her more work to do because homework assignments get assigned. So, it's just, I've just been surrounded by my family nonstop for a full week. I had MLK Day off, which is great, but because he's a socialist. I don't know if I told you that. But like, my wife had so much to do this weekend, and I spent a lot of time watching them, which is like fair because like she does 90% of it the rest of the time. But like, God, I'm not cut out for this. Today I went to the gym. It was the first time I've gone at least a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Like, I've been really good, and it just like the schedules. It's also cold. I don't know if you noticed. So
I've heard.
And then my wife got really sick today. So I get back from the gym. Her voice is gone. She goes to take a nap, and the whole family ends up napping for like 3 hours, except me. And I'm sitting there like in shock, not knowing what to do with myself. So I'm just, I need a break from this 3-day weekend. And I don't see, January is just tougher when you've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I'm learning.
I think every month is tough when you have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Maybe, but when you can't go outside, that's kind of a problem. And yeah, you can't
you can't wear them out.
You can't even enjoy a holiday celebrating a socialist. So, I'm like, what kind of America is that?
Well, it's also Iowa Caucus Day, and as somebody who went to school in Iowa, you're probably very, very excited about the caucuses. I see you're laughing at JP's comments. He said, Cody, your hair is bringing it tonight. Brian, you got something, just don't know what it is. I do. It's hat hair, JP. I had a hat on all day. I did not shower and do my hair for the podcast. So you're just going to have to deal with whatever this is. It's like leftover pomade from yesterday and a knit hat on all day. And then I take it off and I do this, and it's podcast time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't care. What am I, vain? What do I think? I'm going to pick up some tail from the podcast? Somebody's going to go on YouTube and go, that's a guy we got to bang. No.
Wow.
Yep. Not at all.
I forgot, by the way, in my preview to also mention I'm going to talk about Pokemon. But
okay.
You may continue.
How
are you? How are you?
How am I?
Are you cold?
I'm good. Stop it. It's ridiculous. Here's the thing. We need new windows in the house because we didn't realize this house, the windows had been replaced, but I have a feeling they were replaced rather budget consciously. Let's put it that way.
Mm.
And I have tried everything from plastic over the windows, weatherproofing tape down this, because there's a point where along the seam, where the window goes up, you can actually see outside, and there is wind blowing through that crack in the
Oh,
windows.
no.
Yes, and so, I have tried all sorts of things. So I'm gonna I that's so yes, I'm cold. It's ridiculous. It's, death-defying out there. This is the kind of weather where people can die. We had a we didn't have a snow day on Friday. We had an e-learning day. But, since I am the PE teacher and a sub, I did not have to, I had taken the day off anyway because I was doing noon to 3, and 7 to 9 at WTMJ, and I had intended on driving up there, but I've become an old man who's afraid of everything, and I was watching the weather, and they were like, "The roads are gonna be impassable in the morning, and then you'll get a lull in the storm, and then it'll be bad," and I'm listening in Milwaukee. It's going to be horrible. And so I texted my boss on Thursday, and I was like, "Hey, I know I said I was gonna come in tomorrow and do the shows, but the forecast looks horrible for the whole way up, and at 9 o'clock when I get off the roads are supposed to be impassable, and while I like the facilities, I don't wanna sleep there. Would it be okay if I, just did the shows from home?" And
Mhm.
he immediately said, "Yeah, that's fine with me. That's fine."
Nice.
Hello, Stuart. So
Can I say, go back to what you said about the e-learning day?
yes, we could do. Yes, let's get into it. E-learning.
That
That's
is
what we have tomorrow too. E-learning day,
wait. Why do you have it tomorrow?
because the wind chills are supposed to be in the 30 below zero range. It was a half day anyway. And so they do that because there's kids who take the bus
Right,
and walk and stuff, and you
right,
can't have kids outside
right. No, no,
in
no,
30 degrees below zero wind chills.
no, that's fair, but, you mispronounced snow day.
There are no more snow days. That's a thing of the past.
Okay,
That's when America was great. And if
okay.
we make America great again, then we will have snow days.
Alright, whoever decided to make a snow day e-learning day is Satan. I do not approve of that at all. Kids
Well,
deserve snow days. It is a God-given right. Martin Luther King Jr., the socialist, would be rolling over in his grave. I am rolling over in my podcast closet. I Someone told me that there are no longer snow days and now they are remote learning days. And I
they are.
wanted to punch my fist through a wall. That is garbage. It is anti-American. It is anti-freedom. It is anti-children. It is anti-fun. It was developed
Cody.
by Nazis. That's who made
Wow.
it. Literal Nazis made this. And I hate anybody that voted for it. You should get snow days where they say, kids, you don't get to learn anything today. You just play at home inside, and that's it. That's what you get to do. You get a whole day of video games or dolls or whatever girls do or Netflix. Doesn't matter. That's what a snow day is. A snow day is one of the greatest joys a child can have. It's like we said, Christmas is too religious. Let's just cancel Christmas. It's just a regular walk day now.
Eh,
Like that's it. That's it. Canceling snow days is like saying Christmas shouldn't happen and no one gets presents and New Year's is also canceled. I'm so upset about this.
if I may paraphrase Samuel L. Jackson,
Mhm,
allow me to retort.
mhm.
First of all, there have been many winters where kids did not get snow days. So what about those years? Two, having these e-learning days, which I'm going to be honest with you, Cody, amount to almost an entire snow day because the kids only have to punch in for a half hour in the morning. Then they're given some work and they have all day to get that done, or they could get it done in a half hour. And if it's done in a half hour, guess what? They have the rest of the day to do whatever it is they want. It also means that they don't go to school later when the weather is really nice and they want to be outside running around like lunatics. It means you don't add any days to the end of the year. It's a pain for the teachers. It's not ideal, but it cuts down on all that extra stuff in June, so you don't have kids going into the third and fourth week of June going to school. Um, it it also, for some kids, is better because there's structure. There's a lack of lapse in learning. They keep doing stuff. So I don't mind it. Of course, that being said, I also don't have to do it. So,
If I may retort,
oh, you
uh,
want to retort my retort?
yes,
You want to bring it to my
science
bringing it?
science says kids
Oh,
learn by playing. Kids learn by playing.
young children. Play is important for young children, like up through third grade or something.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. Children should play. Adults should play. But listen, are you saying that the only time a child could play is if they have a snow day? The rest of the year there's no play involved? They can't play after school. They can't play on the weekends. They can't play on MLK Day when they have the day off of school. They can only play on a snow day when Friday, guess what? Kids couldn't go out to play on Friday. They couldn't. They would die.
Right.
So if they have to go to school for a couple hours, and it means that on a day in June when it's 70 and they can't go out and play all day, they still can because
Mm.
they didn't risk their lives having a snow day.
I kind of hear you on the summer extension. If I may retort as a side retort
Side
to a
retort.
retort in the comments.
Side
Now,
retort.
Marta in the comments said, Cody, you might change your tune when you have school age children and they have to be in a certain place because of a formerly known as snow day. They're less likely to incessantly bug the adults also at home. I don't have extensive experience as a parent, but I do know what I'm going to say is I could envision a scenario in which instead of me being distracted by my kid cheerfully playing, instead I have to spend the day interrupting myself from work at home, nagging my kid to get the work done that he doesn't want to do. And thus it becomes like I'm doing my job and managing someone rather than just letting them run off. Is he going to bother me if he's sitting in front of the TV playing a
Wow.
video game? Or is he going to bother me if he's not doing his math homework? And I have to walk over and be like, did you do it yet? Did you do it yet? Did you do it yet? And then,
Well, here's the thing, Cody. In this day and age,
what is
the
the thing?
teachers know immediately if the children are doing their work because at least in my school, all the assignments are put on Seesaw, which is a program where the teachers can look in and see, oh, look at little Cody's son is not doing his work. Let me send him a quick message, and it'll say, "Hey, Cody's son, are you having trouble? Do you need some help?" And
Mm,
your kid will go, "None of your business. My dad says I don't have to go to school. I'm on a snow day. So
okay.
why don't you smooch my booty, teach?"
All right. All right. Let me retort that retort. Seesaw, you saw, we all go to Utah.
Plus, I'm also a little concerned that you don't want to help your children with their education for
I
one day.
absolutely want to children my help with education. What I don't want to do is be interrupted while they e-learn
Is
for a
that
day.
because
And
of electronic learning?
I know you pay for it in the summer, but you know what? Sometimes kids don't want to go outside. Some kids want to sit down and play Final Fantasy VI for the
Right. Well,
20th time.
guess what? They could do that after school.
Like, not if their mom makes them go outside when the weather's nice.
Well,
What
listen,
you need to understand is I have a lot of deep-seated issues coming out right now, and
yeah, I think you got a little fatigue hysteria going on.
the answer is both more cowbell and more snow days.
No.
Hmm,
Why don't we just go to school year round then?
that's awful.
No, that would be great.
Well,
All right. Fine. There you go. Well, listen, I'm sorry. I got into this with my young producer the other day too. He was very angry because they didn't have e-learning days when he was in school and in college, and he was very upset that they, now they don't, now they've got these e-learning days and the kids never get any time, blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, he flipped the script. You guys are sounding older than me. I'm not the old man on this issue. I'm like, hey, let's embrace the future and technology and keep these kids active. And again, it's not like they're on these remote learning days, they're not in school from 8 to 3 like they are during the week. It's maybe a couple hours. That's it. And they get credit for the whole day. And then they can go outside and they're at home and they're eating and they're watching TV and they're doing whatever.
Well, they
And
can't go
again, I stand by the fact that Friday and tomorrow they cannot go outside.
Yes. Okay. What about
What about it?
See, as an adult,
Yeah.
I looked forward to snow days from work so much.
Oh, can't you tell how gleeful I am that we have a snow day tomorrow? An e-learning day?
Oh my God.
And it was only going to be a half day. But I'm like, oh.
But
and the principal texted me, he goes, you don't have to worry about e-learning. And I was like, I wanted to type back, yeah, I wasn't worried about it anyway. But I said, oh, thank you for the heads up.
Even when I worked for the consulting firm, Carney, and we started to have e-learning days, and I would have my laptop with me at all. Not e-learning days. We would have snow days.
E-learning days.
No one can commute because the city's frozen. Even on those days when I had my work laptop with me at home and I still could log in and do work and would, I still just liked not having to leave. So I guess, there's, as an adult, it was the point was not having to go anywhere.
Oh, I know.
But as a kid, it's a little more than that. So I don't know. All right.
Listen, when the polar vortex hit, remember that 10, 11 years ago or whatever?
Yeah.
I had to keep going into work. It sucked. I was like, are you ridiculous? Cars are dying on the road. It was bad.
Man.
But I went out. Did I leave the house on Friday? I think I did. I had to. I don't know why, but I went out. I got out early to I was doing radio. Then right before my first show, I went out and shoveled the first time. Then after the first show, I waited and I shoveled again, did my second show. And then Saturday is when I had an interaction with my neighbors. I don't want to cut you off. Do you want to rant some more about not having a snow day?
No, let's talk about your neighbors.
No. So the alley sucks to shovel. You don't have alleys. You're lucky. You live in the suburbs. You got driveways. Those are tough, but you can use, you can shovel.
I have machinery. I have a snow thrower.
I know, a thrower. All right, let's piggyback the two stories. That's why my mom is panicked about me, because all the weather monkeys on TV were saying that the snow on Friday and Saturday was going to be so heavy and slushy that people were going to drop dead nonstop. And I do know that people do have heart attacks shoveling the snow.
What?
All the time. That's why it's called heart attack snow. And I had a big story from doctors with science behind it, and why it's dangerous for people who, obviously if you have a heart condition, or even they said because people over 50 who grew up in the United States eating garbage, a lot of people have heart conditions they don't even know about. But then the snow comes and they're like, oh, I'm young and spry and I'll go out and shovel this really heavy snow. And then because of the mechanics of shoveling, where you're not really moving your legs if you're doing it wrong, but most people don't use it. It's upper body, so it's putting more stress on your heart than if you were using your lower body as well. And because your legs aren't going up and down as much, blood can pool down in your feet, and because it's cold, it doesn't make it back up to your heart, and people are dropping dead nonstop.
Oh my God.
So yes, I think that's the Tony said it in. I think that's the story I was reading. So people dropped. And my mom knows, some friend of hers, her husband went out and he was perfectly healthy and he dropped dead in the snow, and they found him 2 hours later. And I'm like, well, nobody's going to find me, because if I'm shoveling the alley, Debbie never looks out the window to see where I am. I could be gone for a day and a half, and she'd go, oh, did you finish shoveling? Yeah, I drove down to Arkansas. That's how much I finished shoveling. I said that to her, and she's like, I hear the scraping.
Oh my
I
god. Hold on. Am I gonna die if I do arm day at the gym?
No, it's different. You're all
What is
1, you're young, 2, you're in good health. 3, it's a different kind of thing. You're not putting, arm day, you're working your muscle. I don't know. But and this snow was really heavy. Did you shovel on Friday?
I snow through, I didn't shovel.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But I did when my snow thrower ran out of batteries, yeah, because I have an electric one, I did have to shovel a little bit on my porch, and, I got like, on my walk up from the
Yeah.
driveway to the porch, and I like, 1 shovelful. It was like 30 pounds.
Yeah, it was no joke.
That was
It was
crazy
all
heavy
wet.
snow. Like, I mean,
Crazy.
my snow thrower got jammed 50 times. I mean, I had
Yeah.
to, hit it, like, every 10 feet. Yeah, it was crazy snow.
Yeah. So Friday I do that and I come back in and I'm like, So Saturday I go out and I'm gonna shovel again, but I was like, I'm not gonna bother with the alley because 1, it's getting really cold, and 2, my car will just mash down whatever's in the alley. So as I'm going to the garage to get the shovel, I open up the garage door to throw out some garbage, and there's 2 of my neighbors working in the alley because in the alley the city dug like there's a little trench down the middle of the alley to drain water out to the street. Well, there were a lot of places where the trench was blocked, so there were huge lakes of standing water in the alley.
Oh, no.
And the woman 2 doors down was the one who had initiated this. She was like, in front of her garage, it literally was a lake. And she's like, by tomorrow, this will be an ice rink and it'll suck. So I've been going down and clearing out the trench and trying to get some stuff. And her neighbor across the alley had started helping. And so I was like, well, I can't be a jerk. So I have this big push. It's just shovel, but it's mostly for pushing.
Right.
And so I started working in the alley too. And then my next door neighbor on the other side, he saw us and he jumps out. So now there's 4 of us working on the stretch of alley from 2 doors past my house all the way down to the street. And we're working and we're talking and everybody's like, oh, this is a great idea. And boy, we saw the water just flowing out into the street. We're like, oh, it's working. This is great. And everything was our 4th of the alley is pristine.
Nice.
It's great. So I couldn't believe it. I was like, hey, this is great. Teamwork, making the dream work. And everybody's talking. And then we were done and we all just stood there like prideful alley kings and queens, just going, look at this. Look at this. And boy, oh boy, there's no big ice patches in the alley there because all the water drained out before everything froze. And Saturday, the snow was really light. So then doing the gangway and the sidewalk took me no time at all. But my mom called me earlier in the week and left me a long message about the snow. I'm so worried about you. I'm so worried you're going to drop dead. I want to buy you a snowblower. I can't buy, you can't be shoveling. Da-da-da. And I didn't call her back because she was insane. And I also bought a snowblower last year that I never used. It's sitting in the garage, ready to go. I bought it just for the alley because the alley is hard. So I bought one last year. Well, she called Debbie like 4 times. I'm so worried about Brian going out shoveling. I'm so worried that he's going to drop dead. And Debbie's like, well, we could only hope. And so then I finally called my mom after the heavy day. So on Saturday I called her and I'm like, hey, she didn't answer because it was 11 in the morning and she was probably still asleep. And I'm like, hey, just so you know, thank you for the offer, but I have a brand new snowblower. I bought it last year. I never had to use it. So everything's going to be fine. I'm okay. Don't worry. I'm not going to drop dead shoveling. Everything is good. So that was the snow and the cold. And now, this is just, it's insane. And I know every year it's the same thing. And every year I say, how do we live here? But
why don't you use the snowblower?
Last year I bought it and it didn't snow enough to need it.
Sure.
Because like for a dusting, I'm not going to break out this snowblower.
Right.
So we never got a lot of snow last year. And this year, well, the snow the other day, you said it yourself. It was all that slushy stuff. And I didn't buy a big one. I tried to save some money, so I bought a little electric one.
I
And
have an electric one.
Well, I have one that I have to have the cord plugged in.
Oh,
But for the alley, it's fine because it runs right in the garage, and it's going to be fine. So if I ever get just snow that's not half slush, then I will use it
why didn't you just try it?
because I wasn't gonna. It's more hassle than it's worth.
You
Plus, I wasn't lifting the stuff. I literally was just pushing the slushy snow across because my neighbor across the alley doesn't have a garage, so I could just push everything right up onto his fence.
Oh,
So it all worked out.
okay.
It all worked out. I'll use the snow, but listen, there were a couple times the year before where I would have paid anybody to come and plow the alley because all I had was a shovel, and it would take me an hour and a half to clean out the alley just so I could get my car out. So that's why I bought the snowblower last year, and I've got it. It's ready to go. But again, if it's really that light powdery snow, it's not worth it.
Right. Well, I'm glad that the city came and dug a little trench, and then you and your neighbors banded together
Banded
to shovel.
together.
The perfect way to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. weekend with some socialism, a little dash of snowcialism. Snowcialism.
I got it.
Guys,
I've been looking up to see if Martin Luther King was in fact a socialist, like
He
you
was.
keep saying. Are you
He was.
sure?
Yeah.
Where do you get your information?
Google.com. Top
Google.com.
result, Jacobin. MLK was an exemplar of black socialist tradition. Rich
Okay.
relationship with socialist politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, the man did a lot of good. I don't care.
He did.
I know.
Institute for New Economic Thinking. MLK was most certainly a democratic socialist and a true American hero. Okay.
You're not going to get any argument here.
Yeah.
You know. Did you see the former president wrote that he marched with Martin Luther King?
I don't know who the former president is.
Okay, well,
Nixon? Didn't he die?
Yep, it was Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was, in fact, a former president. All right, why are you so? Is your fatigue all from the exposure to your children and wife all week? Is that the only thing, or are you disheartened by something?
No, I'm not disheartened by anything. Should I be disheartened by something?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it would take to dishearten you, other than no snow days. We figured that.
That's upsetting.
That's
No.
very upsetting.
Everything's actually going really well. Things are good. I'm gonna have several days off work in a couple weeks.
Really?
Yes. I mean, my
Taking
wife's
some PTO?
Yeah, my wife is traveling, so I'm
Oh.
watching the kids solo, so it's not like a vacation because no, my daughter with the sickness,
Yeah, what happened with the eye? How did somebody get an eye infection?
I don't know. She's just the teachers thought she had pink eye, but she
Oh
didn't.
no. Okay.
But her eyes were just all puffy and crap was goopy and but
Oh, poor kid.
so her sleep's been a little disturbed occasionally from that. Not too bad, but occasionally like a 4 a.m. feeding where we don't usually do that.
Do you have to put like drops or ointment or something in them?
They didn't give us any drops. It healed itself. She's good now.
Well, that's good.
And they said, if it gets to a certain point, we can get some drop or something, but it's fine. My son though is like sleep regressing to just like he wakes up at 1 a.m. like clockwork and comes into our room, either already soaked in pee, although he sleeps with a pull-up. So, and he goes to the bathroom before bed and he sleeps in a pull-up just in case. Somehow he still will show up soaked in pee, or he'll come into our room, get in our bed, pull off his pull-up and just pee in our bed.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's great. And then, or my wife will get up and then go back to his room with him. But if she tries to leave him there by himself, he has a giant, massive temper tantrum and wakes up my daughter. So she'll stay in there with him. So half the time, I just wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and look over and I'm just an empty bed. The other half the time, my son is in my bed.
Peeing on you?
Yeah.
I thought he was potty trained.
He's completely potty trained and he was sleeping through the night until like 2 weeks ago. And so far in 2024, we have not had a single night where our sleep has not been significantly disrupted. And he
Is he having problems at school? Like at daycare or
not
something?
really. No.
Nobody's bullying him? He's not
No,
getting harassed?
it's a thing. I mean, you know this. It's a sleeper. They
I
take
don't
2 steps
know.
forward and 1 step back. We're taking a big step back.
I was gonna say, peeing in your parents' bed's a big step back. I haven't done that since high school.
It's pretty annoying. He was also fully potty trained for like the last 4 months,
I
and then
know
like
that.
2 weeks ago, he just started wetting himself. Decided like that's
Oh,
fine.
no.
So yeah, it's just yeah, the sleep thing. Like I am seriously considered. So I have fire alarms, smoke detectors in both of my kids' rooms
Sure.
in case anything happens, right? Like
Like they
emergency.
start
But like
smoking.
I am really thinking, just like, can I just bolt his door shut? Like just seal him in there.
Do you think no, he'd be loud enough, he'd wake you up anyway.
We had a childproof doorknob inside of his door.
Right, but wouldn't he be loud? I mean,
Yeah, he would
his
yell for
volume would be loud.
he would yell for, like, a minute, but then he'd stop and go back to bed. The
Oh,
point. Now that he can just come out because he can open the little child lock, he just comes out. He'll scream and melt down, but if he's confined, he'll scream and melt down for, like, a minute or 2, and then he stops, and then we all fall back asleep, and it's dandy, and he doesn't wake up his sister. But
wow.
when, like, I go put him down, and then I try to leave the room, and he screams and melts down and then chases me, or he calms down for 30 seconds, and then by the time I'm back to my room, I'm not even in bed for 60 seconds, and he comes pitter-pattering down the hall, screaming and then screaming on the way back. Like, it's bad. It's night stuff. It's not night terrors, it's just, like, he's just it's just a kid. It's a 3-year-old. This is I'm not concerned about a long-term thing, but, I am concerned about my sanity.
Have you
And
asked anybody about it, or are you just going by things you see on the web?
no, we've asked, his doctor and stuff,
Oh,
and,
okay.
also, I don't trust most places on the web because most
Good.
places are mommy blogs that hit the top result, and it's like, "Well, children at this age do this," based on their, like, extensive experience of having, like, 2 kids ever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Most parenting advice on the internet is like stage 4 cancer. Like I think most mommy blogs should be illegal because they state everything as fact and they are not
That's true.
research based. And that upsets me. And like I understand the value in sharing your experience with others, but
Yeah,
when
I
you have
don't.
confirmation bias and you state things as objective fact and not just like in my severely limited experience of one human child I raised,
Yeah,
it muddies the stuff. So like if I Google anything, like there's a 98% chance there's maybe one result on the front page of Google that's remotely helpful in a
yeah,
science-backed way. And I should mention, like, kids are actually especially hard to research because of all the variables.
sure.
Um, the scientific method as it is right now requires a lot of controls, and it just like children, it doesn't like lend itself to that. Like kids are one of the hardest things to study. The other thing is if you're exposing a child to something that could potentially be not beneficial or harmful, no parent's going to volunteer for them to be in the study to be that control group, right? So, like,
What if they guaranteed that if you exposed your son to that, he would sleep through the night?
I mean, I'd be down, but I'm just
Listen,
saying,
science takes sacrifice, buddy.
I'm just saying, from
You're
my
doing this
science.
for the good of humanity.
From my science communicator, science journalist background, like knowing the scientific method, like it is great, but not really helpful for early childhood development for the most part. There's some studies and stuff, but like we don't actually know. I think we don't know that alcohol is bad for pregnant women to drink like in a huge amounts. I think that's another thing we know, like based on the scientific method, or maybe it wasn't alcohol, maybe it's like cocaine or something like that. But there's certain things that like obviously are going to harm the child, but like we can't actually prove have harmed the child because like you're not going to do a study where you like have a woman like inject heroin or whatever while she's preggo, right? Like that's not a thing that you do. So
Okay, listen, Prudy Jones.
marijuana is the same deal. Like marijuana, no one has any idea what the impact is on the kid. I know women who have done edibles and smoked while pregnant, not extensively, but to some degree, their kids seem very fine. And they're
I've known women who got high while they were pregnant. Their kid came out tie-dyed. It was weird.
right.
So they're
Yeah.
not a control group,
So it's
but
all anecdotes, right? And you're never
it's
gonna
all
get a study
it is
where
all anecdotal.
I think I do think in Jamaica there was either a limited study or they said they would do a study because in Jamaica it's like a very normal thing. That sounds very
Sure.
stereotypical, but I'm pretty sure it was Jamaica. Or there was some other island where like you could actually
They found all the children were born with dreadlocks.
pretty crazy,
It
right?
was weird,
It's
yeah, but,
crazy, right?
that's the way it goes. I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you.
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you. Well, good luck. That sounds very difficult. I have like almost no expertise. I will say that Molly, thankfully, once she was potty trained, that was it. We didn't, there were other issues, but she never like walked in and wet our bed.
Well, this is part and parcel with having a younger sibling. All their
Oh,
siblings regress. Like he role plays and pretends to be a baby all the time.
I wonder if I regressed. I think some would argue that I never progressed.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Having 4 younger siblings.
Yeah.
You too? You have a younger sibling. Did you
I
goo
do
goo gaga all the way through grade school?
I was oblivious, though.
Yeah.
I barely knew she was there. I was like, whatever.
Wow. All right.
Well, plus my
Well,
parents gave her so much attention because she was the first girl out of 4.
oh, the
So, it
girls.
was like they were always, whatever. She wasn't around. I was just kinda hanging out.
Wow. It's all coming out tonight. It's all
Yeah.
tonight, as they said in The Godfather, we settle all the family debts.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've been watching bits and pieces of The Godfather and Godfather 2 because they're on nonstop. So, like, if I have a few minutes dead time and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to start something, then I just I'll watch it. I watched a few minutes of Godfather 2 tonight.
I listened to a part of a podcast the other day, and some people were lamenting that they had never seen this. No, it was Q101. I was listening to the morning show.
Really?
One of the
Wow.
I listen Q101 is my station that I listen to because just plays Linkin Park. I like them. Um, but the woman on the show has never seen The Sopranos
Oh,
and was thinking about taking the dive. And I was like, yeah, I've never seen The Sopranos either. You were a big fan, right?
I watched it nonstop. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary right now.
Wow.
So they've been rerunning it nonstop on HBO. I was thinking of going back and doing a rewatch because I loved it the first time, and I've seen bits and pieces here, again. But I'm like, maybe I should go do a rewatch.
On the guys on the morning show who'd seen it insisted that, like, it's really good the first time, but the second time you realize how much of a comic character the main guy is, and so everything's way funnier, is what they said.
Oh, okay, huh? Yeah, I've watched a couple like out of order episodes as I'm going to bed, and not that it was funny, but I'm like, does it still hold up just as much? And I think for the most part it does, you know. Um, so we started it. I got another one for you. Got
What is
another
it?
show for you. Unbelievable.
Alright.
Unbelievable. It's on Netflix.
What
It's
is it?
based on a true crime. And Toni Collette is one of the stars. There's it's a little disturbing because it's about a serial rapist
Uh-huh.
and a young girl. It was really good. And we started one. Netflix must have, but there's an author called Harlan Coben, and he writes all these mysteries. And we watched the one I told you about last week was Harlan Coben, Fool Me Once.
Mhm.
So that was a Harlan Coben book that they made into a thing, and it was very twisty and it was a really good mystery. So we started another one called Safe, and it's also by this Harlan Coben. And the first episode, it's like, what the hell is going on? So I have a feeling this is going to be a good one too, and it's British again. So we're
Mm.
back to the Brits. Unbelievable was American. I needed a break from British accents for a minute. So we did that. And the beauty of it is that one I think was only 6 episodes. This one safe is 8 episodes. So you get through them quick. It's not like you're not investing like going back to The Sopranos or watching NYPD Blue for 12 seasons or something.
Sure.
So, I still got to watch Barbie. But I didn't have time last night. Didn't have time. You're laughing. You don't think I was going to watch Barbie?
No, I didn't know what you were going to do.
I
Barbie
can't
sounds
wait
great.
to watch Barbie. I can't wait. I don't know why.
It's pretty good.
Is it? Is it good?
My wife liked it.
Did you like it? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
And you didn't like it? Is it about chicks?
No, I liked it.
Because you're a member of the patriarchy?
I liked it. The plot's really bad. Like doesn't make any sense. There's a character in there and you're like, he's funny, but you're like, there's no purpose. And I do this sometimes. I like unfairly compare things and then I end up
Okay.
not enjoying them. And for me, the Lego movie was such a landmark achievement. Like the Lego movie. Have you seen the Lego movie?
I no, I have not.
That
I've heard it was
movie-
very good.
I saw that in theaters and it was like, I love that. I loved that movie. Like I loved it. It was brilliant on so many levels. And like the Barbie movie like is like borrows some of that brilliance, but it just doesn't it doesn't compare.
Okay.
So it was really good and it's good in a different way, but it like I can't like not it's stupid. They're different movies. They're about different toys.
Yeah.
They're about totally different things. So why am I comparing them? But like I don't know, Legos were part of my childhood. Barbies were because that's what my sister had. So like, they're I don't know. In my head I can't like just entangle them.
How did you feel about Toy Story? That was
My
also
son-
about toys.
My son just watched that. Toy Story's fine. But I wouldn't compare it because it's a Disney Pixar movie, you troll.
Right, but it's about toys, you troll.
No, that's not how that works. It's not about real toys. It's about pretend toys.
Are you telling me Mr. Potato Head is not a real toy?
Mr. Potato Head is not a central character. He's not a
He is a central character.
Yeah, I know.
Not Buzz or Woody?
Marta in the chat asked, "Can you tell us about your electric snow thrower, whichever it is?
I win.
Do they have several batteries? How long does it last?" Yeah, I have Greenworks. Greenworks is actually a Chicago area startup. They have electric tools. They have 2.5 volt, 5 volt batteries. Some other ones. I have a 5 volt and a 2.5 volt. Because I have their string trimmer, lawnmower, leaf blower, and snow thrower. And my wife actually has a Greenworks chainsaw, but that uses a different size battery, and I don't think we've ever actually.
And they're not paying you to be a spokesmodel?
No, yeah, I don't know. My dad sold me on the idea of like pick a tool and stick with it,
Oh,
right?
a brand, yeah.
Yeah, so like that. So I've got Greenworks for my like yard work. DeWalt is my like.
Nice.
Well, DeWalt's mostly my hand tool, except for I just got this sucker right here. Check this out.
Wow, what is that? A
at
boombox? What are you, Radio Raheem?
This is an unnecessarily expensive tool. This is my Festool ETS 125 or random orbital sander.
Wow, is this for the table?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is for my desk that I am working on.
Or the desk? How did you decide on this particular orbit sander?
Check this out, baby. So you can get a sander for like $100.
Sure you can. Why not?
This was like $250, I think.
Good Lord.
Higher end sander. It's overkill. But I figure I am interested in woodworking and I probably will be using it for like a couple decades.
Okay.
What sets it apart is the dust collection. Everyone on the internet is just like, every sanding pad I use will last longer because the dust collection is extraordinary. There's built-in bag that fits with the dust collection. I can buy a shop vac and hook it up to it, but the Festool shop vac is $800.
Jesus.
It has like HEPA filters and stuff.
You're not a professional woodworker yet.
I'm not. So I just spent the X because like I probably would have gotten $120, $130 DeWalt, right?
Okay.
Wireless.
Sure.
The other thing is everyone is like, it's so smooth. People were saying like, yeah, you use the DeWalt or in Milwaukee or whatever for like, 3 hours and suddenly you've got carpal tunnel. They're like, this one you can use for hours and you don't even like feel the vibration apparently somehow.
Wow.
So it's I don't know, it's a more premium. I mean, there's another model that the serious woodworkers use, and that's like a $750 sander. And I wasn't gonna go there. But this is the like, okay, if you wanna go like white glove, but not, break the bank, like it's $120 and get the
You like the flex of having a very expensive orbit sander.
I guess.
And you want one that the, new kids on the block would not endorse
I don't know.
because they want you
And
to feel the vibration.
well, I've got good vibrations.
Well, that's the Beach Boys. Our man Roger is, jumping in. Hello, Roger. We haven't seen you in a while. I don't subscribe to BritBox or Acorn through Amazon. I watch all my European shows from Netflix.
Hmm.
Shetland, Vienna Blood, Broken, Inspector Morse.
Broken
Uh,
wood.
I don't know.
That sounds
I don't wanna have broken wood.
You say
Not at
that.
all. I
Oh,
no,
it's called
no,
The
I believe it.
Broken Wood Mysteries. 9 seasons.
Good lord, pass. No, thank you.
Oh, no, it consists of 32-hour murder mystery telefeatures.
Oh, so you don't have to watch. Yeah. So
Uh,
it's like the Twilight Zone kinda, but
yeah,
for murder mysteries.
okay.
I don't know, I've gotten, between, Amazon Prime and, Netflix, I get a lot of British shows.
Watch
So,
Father Ted.
what is Father Ted?
Father Ted's on YouTube. It's like it's not many seasons. It was this Irish sitcom from the 90s, like a low budget Irish sitcom about 3 priests living together, and it's for free on YouTube. It's just
Okay.
on YouTube. Just look up Father Ted.
Do you use YouTube TV or do you still use, like, streaming services?
No, God, no, I don't use YouTube TV.
Okay.
I
Alright.
gotta, I did the trial of YouTube TV so we could watch the World Cup.
Yes?
Worst user interface I've ever experienced in a TV.
Really?
Oh my god, it was innavigable. I'm pulling it up and I'm just like, "What the hell am I looking at? Tell me how to
Oh,
go to a
okay.
channel." I thought it was stupid,
No,
but
forget it. I don't wanna do that. I
maybe
don't
they
wanna do
fixed it.
that.
I don't know.
No, alright. No. I don't have time for that. I like my
No.
TV simple.
Google,
Just like my mentality.
Google's got the name brand, but not always great. Like I used to pay like $150 a month for Google Fi for the phone plan for me and my wife.
I don't know what that is.
Google Fi is Google's phone plan.
Okay.
I don't know. I just switched to Mint Mobile, and it was like $50 for the first like 6 months total.
Huh.
Mint Mobile is dirt cheap.
Oh, that's the one with Ryan. That's Ryan Reynolds'
Mhm.
company.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Blame It on Wrexham
Yeah, I
or
think it's like
Welcome to Wrexham.
$5 a month after the intro period or something crazy
Oh my
like that.
god. All
Yeah,
right.
there's no difference in any of the quality. And then, like, it's funny because like, you pay for a data plan, but
Yeah.
it's unlimited data. You just pay for, like, high speed data so I'm like, "Okay, 5 gigs a month of high speed," and then they, like, kind of throttle you and it's a little slower. "Ooh, my Spotify will take 3 more seconds to load," but you don't get overdraft fees for that.
Oh, all right.
Dude, dirt cheap. I should put my referral code. If I put my referral code in the chat and, like, 3 people signed up, I would have the service free for, like, 2 years. It's
Really?
great. It's
Oh
dude, it
god.
is dirt cheap. Like, it's so I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. I could have saved, like, $2,000 over the last 2 years.
Oh my god. All right, I gotta look into this.
Dude, d if
Because
you
I keep saying I know we gotta get rid of AT&T. I know it. And Debbie's like, well, but we have our plan and our phone. And what if we have to change our number? Did you have to change your number?
No.
No, of course. Debbie is, sometimes she's very smart. She's very, very smart. But sometimes she is, well, we're old, the two of us. And so sometimes we think like old people think. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we have to stay with AT&T or we've had DirecTV for 20 years. We need to keep with DirecTV. And it's like, no, we don't. Because we're paying for streaming services, we're paying for DirecTV, we're paying for the internet. We pay for everything.
Well, are you, do you ca so Mint Mobile does not have physical stores.
Okay.
It's all virtual. So if you need to go into a place and talk to the guy, then you wouldn't like it. But
I don't. Well, I just got my new phone a couple months ago. I'll get when this one in 10 years when Debbie and Molly get mad at me because I'm still using an old phone and I have to get a new phone, then I'll get a new phone. I don't know. I don't
okay.
know how this works. Who knows?
Um, Let me see. Anyway, yeah,
Anyway, all right.
it's
What
so cheap. It's so cheap. The way I switched
well, and
it,
I like Ryan Reynolds.
I had my own. So you go to the website, see if your phone is compatible with their plan.
Okay.
And then if your phone's compatible, you literally like order it online and then you call them and then they walk you through the steps you take to basically like activate your phone. I did it on the phone with them. It was like an hour and a half call. I mean, you have to
Oh my gosh,
wait, you have to
okay.
reboot your phone a couple times and like go through menus and stuff. So it takes a bit, but
Yeah.
you know, looks like right now $45 for 3 months of service at the 5 GB plan. So the special that I was talking about, maybe they're not doing,
Yeah.
but you are literally talking about
Oh no, you froze up. Or did I freeze up?
my back. My back.
You're back.
I could have seen you the whole time. I had some crazy offer where it was like 6 months for like $10 or something stupid like that. Now it's a little bit more, but you still end up like $15 a month. It's like super cheap. It's super cheap.
Wow. All right.
Big fan.
Big fan. Big fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm not on their payroll or Greenworks. Hey, speaking of green, you
Nice
and
segue,
thank
Cody.
you. See, you emceed the Queen of the St. Patrick's Day event.
I did. This was my second year. And listen, it's to the people who are involved and the girls who were women, the ladies who are trying to become, it's a big deal. So it's at Plumbers Hall again because they make they serve for a year, even though St. Patrick's Day is in March. They are at events all year. They're doing media tours. They're going to Ireland. They're representing the Plumbers Union Local 130. It's a whole big thing. So and these women, some of them try for years, and some of them make it to the court a couple times, and then they become queen. Some of them make it to the court and they never actually become queen, and and you can do it until you're 30. So the thing is, there's a couple young girls that come in, like girls who are freshmen in college or seniors in high school, and somewhere down the road, these young women will have the credentials to maybe make the court or be the queen. But when you're that young, you can't match up the resumes with some of these women. They're coming up going, oh, I'm a molecular biologist. I'm a police officer. I'm a trade attorney. I'm a doctor. I just graduated with my PhD in nursing. I volunteer at a million different places. I saved puppies. I rescued 5 babies from a burning building. I'm actually wearing my mother's head as a hat. It's just crazy, the stuff that's on their resumes. And so they asked me if I did it last year, and here's the thing. I'm pretty critical of my own abilities. I know how to host an event. I am good in front of
You
a
do. You're
crowd.
very good at it.
I'm good in front of a crowd. For what that's worth, I don't know. Everybody else seems to think it's an unbelievably hard job, and I'm like, this is nothing. If I had to
Pretty
crawl
hard.
under a house and clean up somebody's dump that they got their toilet with, that's a hard job. Me putting on a tuxedo and cracking wise and keeping things moving, that's just what I do. So thankfully I did well last year and they asked me to come back. And so last Thursday I go down and it was, um, going into the big office at the Plumbers Union into the conference room to have a sit down about the Queen contest is it's pretty surreal because all of a sudden now I'm, making some suggestions and we're debating things and we're coming up with new ideas. And so it was great. Sunday was abominably cold. And so a few of the contestants couldn't show up for whatever reason, there was, but we had a lot of, there were still, I don't know, I think 56 girls competing. And I say girls, please, I don't mean, I'll say ladies. Sometimes I say girls. I'm not trying to minimize women. You know that about me. I love to objectify women, if anything. That's
Right.
what I do. Um, so, I'm there. I got the suit on. I bought a new tie, a new bow tie for the event. It's green with little black shamrocks all over it, looking sharp. Had a new tuxedo shirt on. I was,
Oh,
woo,
yeah.
yeah, man.
Working it.
I was feeling good. And get down there, and a lot of the plumbers like, oh, we're so glad you're here again. This is great. Da, da, da. And the former queens were all very excited to see me. And the former queens, I'll just leave it at that. 2 words. First word is hubba. That's all I'll say. You
Second word's
figure it.
Irish.
Hubba Irish. They are hubba Irish. So it's a long day, and I got to stand the whole day. So it started at like 12:15, and I didn't get to sit down except for about 3 minutes until 4:30. And it was, but these women are coming up, and they're doing all this stuff, and they're listening, and so it's going great. And then it's supposed to be, the last round is just the final 5, because normally it's a queen and 4 women on her court. So the judges are all voting, and there's, you know what, they're using some electronic voting system. I don't know if it's the same one that Mike Lindell raged against, but they seem to do fine here, the electronic voting. But all of a sudden, I'm getting ready, and I'm having to kill time because things are taking forever. And so they have apprentice plumbers as the escorts. So they rent these guys tuxedos. And you've never seen guys who are more uncomfortable in tuxedos than apprentice plumbers. These are all great guys. They all work hard, but they're really young, and you can tell, like, maybe they probably didn't go to prom. They were probably busy fixing stuff or taking things apart and putting it together, doing real man stuff. They were out at a dance.
Right.
So they're chafing a little under the tuxedos. And this one is up on stage, and he's holding the queen's cape, and he's holding her the sash and all that. And you know me, I like to work the crowd. Hey, how you doing? Oh, okay, sir. And he did not want to talk to me. He was terrified. And I'm like, oh, are you an apprentice? Yes. What year? It was my first year. Oh, what's the hardest thing about being an apprentice? And his eyes get as big as like pie plates. Like, nothing. I go, nothing's hard about being an apprentice. I can think of 3 things right now that would make me not want to be an apprentice. And he goes, nothing? He goes, no, sir, nothing. Everything is great. I'm like, okay, I'll leave him alone. So then after the thing was over, I walked out, and he's standing there, and he goes, dude, everything's hard. I'm like, yeah, I know. I said, but you were smart, because you knew if whatever you said was hard, they were going to make you do 9 times more than you normally have to do. He goes, yeah, that's right. And all the other apprentices were hanging around. They started laughing. They go, yeah, they would have made you do everything if he had said something. That was a good answer. I would have said, if I'd been up there, I would have screwed up and said, I think hanging stuff is the hardest. And I would have been hanging stuff all week. So part of the reason there was the delay is because I'm getting ready to announce the 5, and the head of the parade committee and the business manager for the local, it's the same guy, James Coyne, great guy. He comes running up. He goes, we have a tie. And I'm like, a tie? He goes, yeah. So we're gonna have 6 girls come up instead of just 5. And I said, okay, does that mean we're going to then have 5 girls on the court plus the queen? And so we got to talk about that. So we went down, and he and the parade committee are having a discussion down in the bowels of the Plumbers Hall. And meanwhile, I'm trying to kill some more time. I'm giving the former queens a hard time because I claimed that they were judging all the girls as they came up, giving them the side eye. And I saw you guys muttering, and I knew most of them from before, so they were heckling me back, and it was fun. And I was plugging Eli's cheesecake because it's a couple that owns Eli's Cheesecake, the Schulmans. And Miss Schulman was a judge yesterday. She was one of the judges. So they had donated a bunch of Eli's Cheesecake, and somebody else had donated a bunch of Irish soda bread, and there was coffee. So I'm telling people to, enjoy the cheesecake. And I kept saying Eli's Cheesecake. And at one point I turned to the judges, I go, do they not get that I'm mentioning this so many times because I actually want a piece? And the judges all laugh and nobody moves. I go, see, they still didn't move. And she goes, would you like me to get you a piece of cheesecake? I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. So she goes, no, I'm getting you a piece of cheesecake. And so the owner of Eli's Cheesecake walks off the stage, walks over, brings me back a piece of cheesecake. And she's like, well, you got to take a bite. So she's taking pictures of me eating this cheesecake. It was delicious. It was an Irish mint chocolate cheesecake.
Oh gosh.
It
You're making
was
me
the
hungry.
bomb diggity.
Dude, I'm having to have my ice cream after this. Ugh.
So I'll wrap this up because I know we're keeping it tight tonight, but they came back and they said, no, we're not gonna have a 5-girl court. We're gonna cut one of the girls. We're gonna send them down to the basement, and only 5 are gonna come back up. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that plan only lasted like 3 minutes because then they came up and they're like, we're gonna have a 5-girl court plus the queen. I'm like, I said, I know my opinion doesn't matter, but this is a really good decision. So now the girls come up to 6 and they do their last interviews with the judges. And I say, all right, ladies, thank you. Come down to the lower stage into the center and get a group photo. And they do. And I see them start turning. I go, up. I said, hold on, ladies. I know they told you you're supposed to go downstairs. And then we're going to have you come back up. I said, but you're not going anywhere. All 6 of you are staying and on the court. And they went crazy. They're hugging each other. They're, they're very excited because now they know, okay, well, we're in. We just don't know who the queen is. And so they used to do it where they'd announce, it's not like Miss America where there's like a first runner up who will take over the queen's duties if she, has a mental breakdown or whatever it is. They're just the court, and they're not weighted in any other way. But they used to have, like last year, all right, first member of the court, second member of the court, third member of the court, and then there were just 2 women standing there. So one of them was going to be the queen, and one of them was just going to be on the court. Not just on the court, but one of them was going to be on the court. And so at the meeting, I said, is there any other way we could do this? Because like the woman who's on the court kind of gets short shrift. Everybody's cheering now for the queen. They don't even hear this girl's name. And then a couple of people are like, yeah, and it's happened before where then the girl on the court is getting clapped for and the queen doesn't. So anyway, we changed it. So now they're all standing up there. And I introduce each young woman. I said, take a step forward, receive your applause. And I did all 6 of them. And I said, and now it's my pleasure to announce the queen. And I said her name, and they were looking for a big pop, and they got it because the girls went. It was like the crowd was screaming, the girls were all freaking out, the queen was crying. It was oh man, it was great. It was just it was terrific.
I want to go next year.
You can come
if you MC it.
I'll be MCing. I think I'm doing their corned beef and cabbage dinner on the 1st.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be a wild time. But yeah, Channel 7 was there because the head of Channel 7 News was one of the judges. Oh. And so they were there. And I watched the news last night, and they're interviewing the queen, and you can hear my voice in the background. And then they're shooting her from an angle because I was watching this from the stage, and some people moved, and then there I was on TV for a split second in the background. Oh, I'm a big deal.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was cool. And I gotta buy I'm gonna buy a $100 raffle ticket because listen to these prizes. So limited, and I'm not selling them here. I don't have any to sell you. I'm just telling you. I said this to Debbie, and she goes, can you buy one at the corned beef and cabbage dinner? First prize, so it's a limited amount of tickets, $100 a ticket. First prize is $25,000. Second and third prizes are 4 round trip tickets to Ireland, courtesy of Aer Lingus. I'll risk $100 for one of those prizes.
Yeah, I'll do that. I would do that.
And that's kind of as I was plugging the raffle, because look how lonely the raffle people are, blah blah blah. And I go, raise your hand if you couldn't use 25 grand. Oh yeah, all right, good. Raise your hand if you wouldn't want to go to Ireland for free. Okay, go buy a ticket. The woman in charge of the raffle came up and she goes, last year we sold 6 raffle tickets. Today we sold 36 raffle tickets.
Wow.
I was like, all right. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, I'm happy to keep doing it. It's an honor to do it. I don't know if I told you, my grandfather used to escort the Queen during the parade.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes, when he was with the police department, he used to be one of her escorts during the parade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. So it's cool for me. I enjoy it. But and anytime I get to put on a tuxedo and feel like a real dumpy James Bond, I'm excited.
Sure.
Yeah. So listen, I know you wanted to wrap things up because you are fatigued, and I don't blame you. Plus, you have to go put plastic on your bed. Is that correct?
Probably. That was a great story to wrap up, though. I mean, the one thing we didn't get to is Christmas, but it sounds like you just took down your decorations.
Everything's finally done, and we're in the Mardi Gras transition now,
Nice.
decorating the house for Mardi Gras, and we've decided this will take 1 second. In the old house, we had a ton of trees. You know that. One tree was dedicated just to Irish ornaments and Waterford ornaments, and we had a Waterford tree topper and blah, blah, blah. So we have decided once the Mardi Gras stuff comes off the tree, all the Irish stuff goes up on the tree for St. Patrick's Day. Nice. We will not take our tree officially down until the end of March. And if we find enough Easter ornaments, it could be the end of April.
Wow.
And if we... No, after St. Patrick's Day, it's got to come down.
If you find enough red, white, and blue streamers, you can do it.
And then I joked about Halloween. Debbie said, "Oh, we got to get a black tree if we're doing Halloween." I was like, "All right, what up? Why it got to be black? Just because it's MLK Day? That doesn't make sense." So yeah, so that was it. Christmas is gone.
Well, only note I have to add is we also took down the interior, but my wife says that the exterior lights look good in the snow.
Oh,
so we still have our strings of Christmas lights outside. I am ready to let that ship sail and get them down.
Can't do it now. They're frozen. That's why I was so happy I did it that weekend before it got nasty.
So you did the outside lights down too.
I take the outside lights down first.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because it was like the 8th or 9th of January. They had been up. They've been up for a while.
I love Christmas, but like when it's over, and when New Year's is over, obviously, then it's like I'm just in January, and it's like, all right, you need to transition because it's a new year, it's a new time. Like Christmas is not new, like it's the thing that you've had for like a month, and it's less special if it's just there. So yeah,
it is always weird. I'm glad that we started doing the Mardi Gras tree though, because it's scaled. It scales down from Christmas to something, and you still have some decoration. Because I always hated that first few days when you took everything down from Christmas, and you're like, boy, our house was boring up until December.
Yeah.
So, and the outside, it's pitch black. And it's like, oh, okay. But now I do judge people if I drive by and they still have their Christmas lights on.
Most of the ones in my neighborhood still have them up. So
do they really? Then you're good.
Oh, across the street, they still have the whole nativity scene.
Yeah, if you can get that nativity scene down. I mean, lights in the bushes, I can see that. It's when you still have your inflatables and all that. If you have lights in your bushes, I think that would look pretty. It's the specific Christmas stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, we have smart lights outside for my floodlights and our garage lights. And the smart lights were red and green for Christmas.
Sure.
But as of like January 1st, I switched it to Aurora.
Oh, so you can change the colors?
Slowly transitions from blue to green to purple back to blue.
Oh, that sounds good. That's not. Those aren't Christmas lights. That's landscaping lights.
That's my January colors, but we still have the colored bulbs up, and we still have blue lights on a bush. We have a blue light net on a bush. The blue light net I would keep up, but the color bulbs I just want to get down so it's a whole
Okay.
blue kind of like
Yeah, I like that.
bluish. And then I'll change to red for Valentine's Day.
Bluer than
Be
blue.
great.
Yeah, if you get changing those then you're just the landscape. Then you're illuminating your landscape, and I think that knows no season.
True.
That's beautiful.
Yes,
All
but
right.
I will go to bed soon.
Yes. Well, go stay dry, and I mean that in every possible way.
Yeah.
Stay warm.
Yeah,
Get some sleep.
I think my wife is watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off downstairs.
How do you feel about that movie?
N It's why? How do you feel about it?
I enjoyed it when I was young. Like when it first came out, I really liked it. The last time I saw it, I went, "Why would anybody be friends with him?"
It it's severely overdone in Chicagoland.
Yeah.
Like, every year, like, screenings of Ferris Bueller. It's like, really? That's the only movie first of all, When Harry Met Sally starts out in Chicago, and
Right.
you know,
The
I'd vote
Fugitive,
I don't know.
Backdraft,
Batman,
Batman,
Rises, or
The Dark Knight.
sure, Dark
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, The Dark Knight. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of good there's the Home Alone.
Cool.
There's a lot of movies here. Breakfast Club.
Is Breakfast Club in Chicago?
It was shot in the north suburbs.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knew? Yeah, I just
A lot of people.
yeah, I feel about Ferris Bueller's Day Off the way probably a lot of Irish people feel about Ulysses.
Too long and cumbersome.
Just a little you're just like, really, that's the one? Like, that's the, like, symbol, like, that's the, like, legacy art for our city or country in their case, like,
Yeah.
but,
No,
yeah,
I
but
get it.
I will go get some rest, and you as
All right,
well,
listen. Yeah, so we will talk to you again. Thank you for all the great comments. Yes, Monique, I will once I get the Mardi Gras tree and the decorations up, I will post some pictures. They'll be up on the Brian Noonan Show page, and we'll put them up here. So thank you for asking about that. Listen, Cody, it's been a pleasure. Get some rest. I hope by next time we speak, you are a little more refreshed.
Thank you. Oh,
That-
I forgot. I also teased Pokemon.
yeah.
I was
what
just
do you
gonna
got?
say I've watched 4 episodes of Pokemon with my son, and I'm really into it, and so is he, and it's great.
Is he into it?
He's so into it.
Wow. Who
And
does he
it's
like
like
best? Is it
it's not
Pikachu?
he loves Pikachu. It's not violent, it's not scary. It's just perfect. It's the perfect kids thing, and I'm so happy watching
And you
it.
guys can bond over it. That's
Yes.
nice.
Oh my god, I've got 10 years ahead of me of watching this show because there's like 1,000 episodes. It's great. Anyway, that was all.
Perfect.
Last
All right.
anecdote. Now we checked everything off the list. Now I can go.
Okay. Wrap it up.
Bye.